Hello traders, this is Pierre here from PAFX once again with the weekly Forex overview. I hope you had a great trading week last week. I had a good trading week, not the best, but it was okay. I missed some great move, as you saw, sure, on the sterling pairs. But yeah, that's the way it is sometimes. You plan, you wait, and you execute, and sometimes you miss it. So not much to do about it. Just plan your next trade and keep pushing forward. That's the best way to go with that. So yeah, welcome everyone, and I hope you gonna enjoy this session. If it's your first time with us today, don't forget to check the description section below the video, where I do have some links for my other channels, like the Telegram channels, the Facebook and the Twitters, and trading views. So yeah, check that session, and why not join us on those other channels too. So yeah, there is lots of you here, many faces I already know, some students, some other friends, so welcome everybody, and let's get started. As usual, you're gonna get the chance to ask questions at the end of the session, so please, if you have any questions that not related to the chart I'm talking about, just wait with that to the end of the session, and I will give you 5 minutes to ask your questions, or if you have a pair that you want me to look at. So yeah, let's get started, and we start with the risk disclaimer as usual. Please do read that to know about the risk involved in trading, and that this session is only how I see the market and should not be considered as a signal in any way. Yeah, so please guys, pause the video and do read it carefully. So next week, let's start with some news, guys, because we have lots of news next week, especially for Japanese yen and US dollar. And as you see here, we have on Tuesday we have some Aussie news also. We have building permits on the USD, retail sales for sterling, and then we have Wednesday, yeah, crude oil inventory, FOMC statement, federal fund rates, and the press conference later, which gonna be the most important thing that day. Thursday we have also more news, and the most important of it is the Japanese yen, with policy rate and monetary policy statement and the press conference. And Friday we have some news on CAD and parliamentary elections for New Zealand. So yeah, it's those are only the major impact news, so there is surely some other medium impact news also to look at, so you have to be careful and keep looking at that before you get started. Yeah, Randcore, they're gonna be some stop loss hunt, I'm sure, for that, especially on the press conferences. Those ones used to be very, very volatile, and one should maybe wait out that before trading. So let's go to the Dixie, and as usual, we always start with the Dixie, and we are on the daily right now. As you see, guys, technically the major trend is still to the downside for the US dollar. Look at this chart. This 20 moving average has been acting as very good dynamic resistant, and we have this trend line. We did last week had a very good reaction at the monthly S1, where the price did a good bounce to the upside, but still I've been talking about the 92.50 area for a long time now as an important level, since the price was at this level here, and we said that if we hold above this, we probably gonna see more to the upside. But yeah, as you see guys, we did break it, did break also this last line of defense coming from looking at this area here, looking left here. We did break that, but there was no continuation to the downside. We got rejection back up for a retest of this structure up here. So what's going on right now? Right now we had last Friday some kind of hammer here, and basically nothing that changed this major trend to the downside yet. What we do probably have is a higher low, but we don't know for sure yet. Looking at this, talking about this low here, to consider this a higher low, we want to see a break and close above Friday's candle. Yeah, that didn't happen yet, so particularly basically the market could open tonight and keep heading down to retest this level here. We don't know for sure what will going, but if if this happened, that we get actually a day above with the close above Friday, then we do have a confirmed higher low, and we maybe could start thinking that there is a possibility that something should maybe change in this trend. As for now, we should consider this a downtrend, and until we see, I want to see a break of this trend line, a break of the 92.50 area, something like this, where we do break this last structure here. Then I start consider that there is some change in this trend. Yeah, if we don't get that, we should keep selling the dollar until we start seeing higher highs and higher lows. So as for now, we don't have that. All we have was a leg to the upside, which was we can consider this as a medium good momentum here, but still we keep making putting lower lows and lower highs, so nothing's changed yet. Okay, we're getting that, buddy. We're gonna do usually near the end, so we're getting that. Zafar, no, I'm not full time trader. No, I do have a job too. So gold, it did react where we wanted to see the reaction, looking left, as you see guys, this major area here. So looking at the weekly, we have now last week was a bearish engulfing with a close below the low here. So I'm slightly bearish on gold short term for at least a retest of the monthly pivot or this structure here, to try to see if we're gonna get some bullish evidence back down here at this structure here. Looking left here, there is a major good structure to work with. If this happen next week and the gold reach this level here, we should be looking for bullish evidence to try to buy the gold from these levels here. So why I'm saying buy right now, because as you see, looking at the weekly, the trend is still to the uptrend, working with this leg only. We are trading above the 200 moving average even on the weekly. So yeah, still bullish, even though we had a bearish week, which was expected at this supply level up here. But since we did actually break above this very important structure and made new highs, we also closed above this high here, so that's why I'm looking for a possible bounce from this level short term. We may see some bearish correction to the downside. So the levels to look at is the 1300 area. Okay, that should be a good area to look at, and somewhere between, let me show you that. This is the kill zone, yeah. So somewhere in this level we should be looking for a possible bullish evidence here. If you don't get that and gold actually do break below this 1300 level and close below and keep going lower here, then we may be gonna see longer term downside, even back down to the 1250. But as for now, gold have been very bullish and very strong to the upside, and last week we had a good reaction to the downside. It's, for me, it's a correction, and I will start looking for bullish evidence around the monthly pivot and the 1300 area. This question always here. Those moving averages are this one is the 20 and this one is the 200, yeah. Does anyone else having problem with the sound, guys? Cause I don't think I can do higher than this, cause my microphone is on the maximum right now. So before I keep going, please can you confirm, is the sound low, or maybe only one of you have issues with the sound and not everyone? I'll wait a little bit and see if you guys give me some answers. Okay, good. Habs, it's recorded, buddy. If you have any sound issues, you can just see the recording, and the sound should be much better there. Looks like everyone else have no problem with the sound yet. Okay, let's keep going, yeah? So, oil on the daily, and since we got this this rejection here, guys, and this bullish engulfing, I told you that I am now bullish on gold and on oil, and I'm still actually bullish on oil. We had a very good break of the monthly pivot, retest, and continuation. We did also close above this last structure high, and last week we had some reaction around the monthly R1 here. As you see, we got the oil got rejected back below the monthly R1, and Friday was an indecision candle. I still think that we may see oil test around the 51.50 area, but we, of course, we don't want to buy it at this high. So the best way to do it is to try to see if oil gonna do some correction lower for at least a retest of this structure here, or even lower back to the monthly pivot down here, yeah. So if we take a Fibonacci retracement tool for this whole leg here, you see you have the 61.8 back down here around the monthly pivot point. That would be a good level to look at to try to buy the oil from. We do also have a clear range now that we work with, as you see here. Could be a good range to work with. Try to sell the highs and buy the lows. For me, if I would take any oil trades, so I'm gonna be looking for the retest of this structure down here, yeah, to try to buy from a lower price and see if we're gonna break these highs this time, yeah. That's good, that's good that the sound is okay for you now. Let's start with Forex, and my first pair on the list is Aussie yen. So the Aussie yen did try this important supply level last week. If we go to the weekly, we see much better where we are, and you see here why I think this area is an important area. Looking left here, it was a very good support level that then acted as resistance here. We had this test here with the rejection back down, but now we are, since below here on the weekly, as you see, we keep making higher lows all the way, yeah. So basically it's this downtrend coming from the left heel is over, and the range is getting higher and higher. And last week was a very strong bullish week, but we don't want to buy just below resistance. So if we want to buy this pair, we basically want to see a correction back down and see if we get any bullish evidence down here to try to buy it from a better value area to see if we're gonna reach these highs one more time or probably break higher, yeah. So we are trading above the 200 daily moving average, as you see here, since long time now. Since the Trump election, this pair moved above the 200. It have been trading just below it all the time. Looking left, it has been acting at very good dynamic resistance, and since the election we start trading above it, and we're still holding above the 200 moving average. So yeah, for next week I would gladly see a retest of the area down here around the monthly pivot point to try to buy from this level, because we did break this neckline here now. As you see, we have higher high, higher close, and Friday's candle was a huge candle and very, very hard traded. If we go down to the 4 hour, you see the reaction getting coming from this supply level, and we didn't close all the way down below the monthly R1. So 87.50 500 below down here should be a good level to look at. That would be a retest of this structure here, and if we get any bullish evidence at this area, that would be a good level to try to buy another bounce to the upside. If you want to sell this from this high here, you want to see if you're gonna get another retest, give you maybe a double top without a close above the wick here, with some bearish evidence, bearish divergence on the RSI, and then you can try to short it, because that would be a good risk to reward trade, even though you are trading against this trend to the upside. But if we look left, it is a good and important supply level that it is worth a try if you get the chance and you want to trade counter trend, yeah. If you want to trade with the trend, then once again 85.500 here, that would be your level to look at for a bounce to the upside. Aussie New Zealand, I did try to short this one last week. I was early in and I got stopped out. So and then it went down. As you see, Friday was a major bearish engulfing candle. So if we go down to the 4 hour, you see it was a clear break here. I did enter at the top of this range. I was expecting that the price gonna retest the top here on 15 minute, I think, and I had small stop loss, and as you see, the price went up here and took me out. So that was something I did wrong, because as you know, guys, our stop loss should always be above an important structure. So basically my stop loss should be above 20 pips, maybe above this high here. So it should be looking like this, yeah. But I was looking for a first target around the monthly pivot. That would be great, but I was thinking that 90 pips was a little bit too much for a stop loss, so that's why I went down to 15 minute and tried to trade this one with cheaper stop loss. And that's what's happened when you place a stop loss in a bad area, and it was in this case, looking at it now, yeah. Yeah, where are we right now? We on the 4 hour, we did actually put another lower high here and another break below structure. As you see, this structure is now broken. We have a close below it. It was also almost retested, looking on the 1 hour, as you see here. So basically this move is almost over now, because if we look back on the daily, you see that there's not much to reach this structure here now. And since these pairs have been in a very strong bullish trend, I'm not shorting right now after this major move. For me to short, keep shorting this market, I want to see a break below the monthly pivot, below this structure here, maybe a retest on lower time frame. Then I could try to short it back down to this level here. But since we are in a uptrend and in a very strong one, as you see, we did break above this structure here. We keep making higher highs, and we have some more room to reach this supply level up here. I will first be looking next week around the monthly pivot here to see if the price reach this level and give me a bullish evidence. That could be a good level to try to take another bounce to the upside from here as a trend continuation, yeah. But looking here, it is a little bit important to see that now we did put this double top here. We have a lower low and we have a lower high. So you can argue that this up move is now over and the market is reversing to the downside, and that could be also right. And I'm talking about this structure here. You have this move, you have double top here, you have a break of the neckline, retest, and possible continuation. So there is a possibility that we are in a major reversal, but first I want to see a break, as I said, below this structure, retest, bearish evidence here, then I can start shorting this market. If that doesn't happen, I would not short it from here. I will try to buy around the monthly pivot point instead, yeah. So you have some scenarios to work with. Go with the one that feel best for you and trade that, yeah. What usually we should do when we see previous high structure, waiting for candle retest. I'm not sure what you mean, but if you mean like this here now, retesting this previous area, then of course if you want to continue this move to the upside, you want to see Bullish evidence on the lower time frame, maybe 1 hour to 4 hour, depends on what patterns you trade. You maybe want to see a double bottom somewhere in this area, inverted head and shoulders, morning star formation. Those are the patterns I use to look for when defining bullish or bearish evidence. Yeah. Aussie USD did break the monthly R1 short term on the 1 hour and 4 hour, maybe. I think that was all, yeah, as you see here, but then it got rejected all the way on the daily back down below the monthly R1 and kept trading below that. So structure wise, we never close above this high here. We did violate this high with this week here, but we had never a daily close above this structure to be more sure that this market gonna keep heading up. And at the same time, we don't really have a lower low structure wise below major lows. Yeah, we basically still have higher lows here and higher high above these highs here. So this market is in a kind of a channel to the looking at this channel here, you can still consider this an uptrend, but the thing that we never broke and close above this high here make it a little bit harder to take a decision now. Yeah. So basically the levels we should be working with are down here around the monthly pivot. We have this area that gonna act as maybe a good support, and up here around the monthly R1. So if we go down to the 4 hour, we can see it more clearly. Yeah, you see we have a lots of structure here. We have the 200 moving average has been on the 4 hour been acting as good dynamic support. So for next week, if this pair reach this level, start looking for a possible bullish evidence down here to try to buy it from this level here. Or if we got another test back up to the monthly pivot here, that would also monthly R1, that would also be a good level to look for possible bearish evidence and try to trade this range here. This range here until we get a break of that. Let me clean some moving average so it's enough with the 200. CAD chief did reach, looking at the weekly, as you see guys, just so you know why we got this rejection. We did reach these highs up here. This important level was reached last week, but if we look further left, you see now that this major downtrend was broken for a long time now, and since then we kept making higher highs. We did break this area here, then we put another higher low and then broke back above that. Short term, I think for next week you can try to trade this evening star formation we have here on the daily, back down to this structure, and then start looking for bullish evidence from this level to try to take a trend continuation from this level back down here. Yeah, because as you see here on the daily, we have this evening star formation 1 2 3 with this star formation here. We did close below previous structure low with this candle last Friday. and that what make me think that we may see some more to the downside to reach back down to this previous structure here. Let me make a little bit better here. So basically we want to see how will the price will react in this to these levels here, yeah. So to me, for a trend continuation, I will be looking at this level down here for bullish evidence to try to take another trade to the upside from this area. If you want to sell this now, this trend line is basically broken, and you won't be looking for something like this, maybe a flag and a break of that flag. That would be good to trade short term to the downside, or if it gives you another retest of this trend line or the structure up here, yeah. So if it do this and give you some bearish evidence up here, then you can try to short it and see if you reach this monthly R1 pivot down here. But overall, once again, we're still in a very strong bullish trend, yeah. So if this move to the downside end here, then of course we can try to go long from this area down here, 0.77500. CAD JPY, this is also a buy for me, looking at the structure, breaking this major level here, close above it, continuation to the upside, and Friday was a crazy candle, as you know, guys. If we look at the weekly, you see that we still have some room to reach this trouble area up here, yeah. So in my opinion, this is at least the market objective to reach this level here. But of course, I don't want to buy it so high. So for me, the level is, if we're gonna get a retest of this broken structure down here, that would be great. Around the monthly R1 to look for possible bullish evidence, and look for another bounce from this level here, buying low, and see if we're gonna break this last high and reach this level up here, what I think is the market objective level to reach, yeah. Now when we broke above all these levels here, so what we do have left is this structure up here, yeah. And looking at the weekly, you see we did break the weekly 200 moving average too last week. So yeah, that's what make me keep thinking bullish on this one. Chief JPY did break also a very important level last Friday, as you see here. This is the yearly R2, did broke this very important structure. If we look left, you see it has been acting as a strong resistance in the past many times, then got broken, price went below it, tested, and now Friday we broke it. We are still above the daily 200 moving average on this one. See here, it was acting as very good dynamic support here. We did break it, but the price never made new lows after that break. So the 200 daily moving average is a good one to look at here. And since we broke this major structure now last Friday, we have a close above the last swing high. Looking left here, Friday did actually close above this. The only one thing that we did reach the monthly R1 here, that's why we got this little reaction here. Looking down on the 4 hour, you see that the market did test the monthly R1 and got a couple of reaction. So yeah, what we want to see if we're gonna get a retest lower somewhere, retest of this broken structure here. We can also put Fibonacci retracement tool and see if we got any confluence at this area. So we have the 38.2 around the yearly R2, which been the important level we've been talking about. Your kill zone should be somewhere on lower time frame, of course, looking at this area. If this pair gonna keep pushing down, give you some bullish evidence to try to take a long from here on the retest of this major range edge. Yeah. So that's what I'm looking at on this one for next week. There is lots of room to the upside on this one. Euro Aussie, we're still stuck in this range here. The candles, the bodies of the candles getting smaller and smaller and very narrow. So I see that when we break this range here, particularly this range, we're gonna get a very good move with good momentum. Still, since the rejection here, we never broke a major structure low. As you see, this is very important low here that we want to see broken for a more to the downside. That didn't happen. We basically still stuck in this range here, and that's what we have to work with for next week. Yeah, and on the 4 hour you see the range more clearly here. Yeah, I'm talking about this range here. Since we broke below here, below this structure, we started trading in this range, and we want to see that broken. What you can do is, once again, try to fade those moves to the upside and see if you can get a short opportunity from the top of the range, back down, take profit somewhere here, and do the same thing is if the price comes all the way down and retest the bottom of the range next week, until you see a break to the upside or a break to the downside of this range. You can keep shorting the edges, the highs, and buying the lows in yeah, in anticipation that it's gonna break, because it will break, but what I'm not sure of to which side yet. Actually, when the price start acting like this, it's very hard to know. And the bigger range here, you see it have been a good amount of days of a sideways market so far. But since we are above the daily 200 moving average, I do prefer that we maybe start thinking that we buy the lows of this range and see that we probably gonna break to the upside. Very hard to tell, and as I told you, go down to the 4 hour or the 1 hour, and this is your range to work with so far. Euro CAD, we did close this gap last week finally with these days here. This close here was the close of the gap, as you see, looking left here. So yeah, the price did stop at the daily 200 moving average and the monthly S2. We have some bullish divergence on the RSI, and that is more clear on the 4 hour basically. But looking even on the daily, we still have good divergence on the RSI to the upside. It looks like we are creating a good bottom on the price here, and of course it is a good level to maybe start to look for a possible long from here, to at least retest of this structure up here or the neckline. If we go down to the 4 hour, you see that now we do have possible head and shoulder here. It's not so clear on the 4 hour. Let me see if it is better on the 1 hour. So I'm talking about this shoulder, this head here, and shoulder here. Yeah, it is very hard to see, but on the 4 hour it is a little bit easier. As you see here, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. The neckline is not broken yet. We did put now a higher low, a clear confirmed higher low at this structure. So I'm thinking for next week, if we get another retest, to try to buy from the low here, and looking for a retest of the monthly S1, where we do have this previous structure. As you see here, it has been acting as a very good support and resistant level. Yeah, so yeah, on this one, buy down here, that would be a good level to try to buy it, since your stop loss gonna be below this last low. That would give you a good risk to reward, because we are looking for at least a retest of these highs or the monthly S1. Short term. Long term, if of course the monthly S1 got broken, then we start looking for a possible retest here. Yeah, for this pair to trade lower, you want to see this structure broken on the daily and close below this structure here. I don't think we gonna see that next week. I don't know, but that's my opinion only. So for me, I will be looking for a possible long from back down here with a good risk to reward, and try to ride it. As I said, break of these highs, or back to monthly S1 and these structure looking left. Euro sterling, all the sterling pairs was wow last week. Great moves, very strong moves. It didn't take a breath, kept going all the way. So right now we are at a very important structure for this pair. Looking left here, we reach a major area where this structure here could be a structure to look at for a possible bounce for this pair. Next week, when this pair, if it reaches this area, we're gonna have also the 200 moving average getting closer. So I'm basically looking at this area here to see how this pair gonna react. Looking at the momentum now, it's very strong, and one can say that, oh man, this is gonna just break and keep going lower. Yeah, but yeah, we don't know for sure yet. Well, all we know that we had a very good structure to work with here, and basically we did break above these highs. We break all these highs and put higher high, higher close here. So if we look at the weekly, you see that the break was above this structure here, and then this major move to the downside. So even on the weekly, you see that this area is we can't keep trading without looking at this area and see what will happen when the price reach this level. And that's why it is an important level for me. So personally, I'm gonna be looking for a bounce from this level for a possible retest of the monthly or S1 or this supply level up here. Yeah, Euro JPY, another pair that broke a range. As you see here, it has been ranging for a long time now. How many days is this? Yeah, we've been in a range for 53 trading days, and now this range, it's a narrow range that got broken. We have a higher high, higher close. We did reach also on this one the monthly R1, but these pivots are very narrow since the pair been trading sideways, yeah, and that's why we got narrow pivots. So when you have narrow pivots, you reach these levels very, very fast. So I am looking for a bullish continuation on this one, since we did break this structure here, another higher high, higher close on the daily. So if we go down to the 4 hour, yeah, what I'll be looking at is how the pair gonna react at this level here, if it's gonna give me some bullish evidence from here for another retest of these highs here, yeah. If we put a Fibonacci retracement tool and see where we have some confluence, we do have the 61.8 at this structure here, where we do think that this previous resistance now is support, as you see here, and that it gonna act as support once again. So yeah, trend continuation from here would be at this 61.8 area. If we look at the weekly, let me clear those. You see it even more better now. On the weekly, we did break the weekly 200 moving average too. We closed above all these highs, so for me there is no reason to think then trend continuation. Why to fight it? It have been in a uptrend this whole time, and we should keep following that until the price start making a real bearish trend, yeah. We don't have that yet. To see a bearish trend on this pair, you want to see a break of this range to the downside now, to say that we are in a the trend has changed. As for now, since we keep making higher highs and higher lows, we just try to follow it. The pivots on my chart every month, since they are monthly pivot, Zafar. So yeah, I do plot them once a month. Every new month I do plot them, and yeah, the next month I'm gonna change it. Euro USD still in a boring sideways, but major trend, not change it yet. We never broke and closed below this low here. We had this down move to the downside, but as you see, the monthly pivot point still acting as a good support, and previous structure never got broken with a close below the last low. On the upside, we never got a close above this week here. So sideways market on this one, and of course, since we are at the yearly R2, monthly R1, we don't want to go long up here. You can try to buy from this level here and take profit somewhere here, because looking at the monthly, guys, you see that we are in a getting in a very, very important structure here. Looking left, it have been acting as a very strong support in the past, and that we may see some resistance now. Now one more thing, since we broke above this high here, there is opportunities or for this pair to keep getting higher and higher, but short term and weekly, daily, you see the momentum here is fading. The RSI start going low, making lower highs on the weekly. And on the daily, we have the same scenario. We have this possible double top. The RSI is also making some divergence, but we can't start shorting for a longer term until we see a break below structure, lower low and lower high on daily. We want to see that. So sideways market next week. We maybe see after the news we maybe get a real direction, but looking at the 4 hour, you see we have this range to work with as for now. As you see here, what we can do is keep buying from below here, from the structure and the monthly pivot, and sell from the highs here back down until we get a break of one of the levels. Yeah, if we're gonna follow the longer term trend, of course we want to keep buying from the lows and in anticipation that this gonna break out. As you see, the 200 moving average on the 4 hour could be your filter, yeah, as it been acting as good dynamic support and resistance since the break here. We retested here a couple of times, and last week was the first time we tested this 200 moving average once again and got rejection from here. So if you want to change your bias on this pair, you maybe want to see a close below the 200 moving average on the 4 hour, and that the pair keep making lower highs and lower lows to start thinking bearish on this one. As for now, structure still bearish, but we have momentum fading, and RSI start making divergence, bearish divergence. So we have some signals that it could be the end of this move to the upside, but we can never be sure of that. We want to see evidence, and we follow those evidence to make life easier. Let's see, Habs is writing AU targets is 1.25. Yeah, that could happen. That could happen. There is nothing that say that this pair can't reach that level, but as I said, we keep following the evidence we have on the charts. Yeah, we're still in uptrend, but in some fading momentum, and these RSI divergence for me are very important, and that's why I'm a little bit cautious to go long from these levels. Short terms, once again, I will try to buy the edge of this 4 hour range. That should be enough for me. Buy the lows, sell the highs until we get a break of this minor range, to not make things complicated and start guessing where the market is going. Sterling Aussie. I did miss the first move of this pair, and those of you who follow me did see that. I did publish my trade idea, and yeah, I did miss it because I was waiting a little bit lower with my order. And yeah, after a long term of consolidation, I think it was 17 days or so consolidation down here. Yeah, we did break above this range, and it went like a rocket, as you see, guys. And in 2 days we broke above monthly R1, we reached monthly R2, and not much left before we reach this important structure up here, as you see here. So I am looking to see how this pair will react when we reach and if we reach this structure up here, yeah, to see if we're gonna get bearish evidence here for a bounce back down, at least a correction lower at this structure here would be great. Even though that there is a possibility that long term we keep seeing continuation in this trend, but for next week when we reach this area, it is important to look and see if we're gonna get some bearish evidence. The RSI is at the extremes, and such a parabolic move needs some correction back down. We do have right now, looking at this, we do have already hidden divergence, comparing this high with this high. As you see on the RSI, we're making higher high, but on the price we still have lower high here than here. So when if the spear reached this level here, that would be the level I've been looking at for a possible short. But long term, if you want to join this move to the upside, of course we want to see a correction back down, yeah, because actually looking at this move here, if we measure this leg now and the extension of that leg, you see here this A, B, C, D now reached the 200 Fibonacci extensions, yeah. So it is overextended. Nothing that says that just because of that the pair gonna do like this, keep just go down all the way. But when such a extended move happens, there is some possibilities that we see some deeper corrections, and especially if we reach these highs up here, yeah. Where to go long from? Let's go back to the daily and see if we how the structure looks like. Of course, somewhere in this area here around the monthly R1 would be good, and if this move end here and we make some Fibonacci retracement, we're not sure yet that we can draw our Fibonacci here, because this may keep going higher and higher. But if we pretend that this is our last high, then our first Fibonacci level is the 38.2 at this near this structure here too, yeah. Looking left, we have this structure, we have this retest, we have this structure here, and what we want to see, if where does this start going lower, so we can draw our Fibonacci retracement. So if this reach up here, and let's say that the price reach this level and start making some correction down, then we can draw our Fibonacci from this low all the way up here and see if we can join from the 38.2 or even lower around the monthly R1. Very, very hard to tell right now. On the 4 hour, we do have this structure to look at first. If the price goes like this next week at the start, then of course we want to look at what will happen at this structure, because we do also have some structure looking left here around this area here. We do have this important structure that acted as resistant. We do have some troubles area around this whole move here. So as a first level is of course to look at here to see if you're gonna get a bounce from this level. We can also draw a Fibonacci retracement from this whole move up here and see if we have some confluence. We do have the 38.2, we do have the 50 Fibonacci retracement at this area here. So yeah, as a first kill zone to look for, since this trend was very strong to the upside, you can look here, and of course down here at the monthly R1 is the most important level in my opinion to look at, to see if you're gonna get the bounce from even lower. Okay, so those are the scenarios both for long and short on this one. If EUR breaks and retest, will short it, as I'm not in that way. Yeah, you can of course short it if it break that level that I talked about and do a retest at least on 1 hour and 4 hour on Euro Sterling. Sterling CAD also at an important level, and you see here why I'm saying it is an important level. We do have the monthly R1 here at this same area. We have the daily 200 moving average also coming from this level. We do have lots of structure. It has been acting as a very good support and resistant flip zone here. So yeah, where the price is testing right now is a very important level to look at for a possible bounce back down. But longer term, since we broke above this neckline, there is a possibility for a trend continuation here. So if you want to trade against this move to the upside, you want to look at this structure here where the price is right now for a possible bearish evidence. And if we go to the 4 hour, you see it a little bit more. But for a trend continuation, of course, the best scenario would be if we see another bounce back down to the monthly pivot and look for bullish evidence down here to try to catch this to the upside. As you see, the daily 200 the 200 moving average on the 4 hour, since this break below and retest here looking left, it has been acting as a very good dynamic resistant, and now we got the break, we got a retest and continuation. Yeah, so if we see some correction back down when the price reach the 200 moving average and on the 4 hour, that would be a good dynamic support to try to work with. Or if we reach this structure here, that would be also a good level to try to long this pair from, since this move we never had a real retest of this broken structure yet. Yeah, so yeah, since we have a very strong momentum, I think it's much better to wait and see if you're gonna get this retest, looking for bullish evidence at this structure up here, and try to long from the monthly pivot area. Sterling JPY, let's go to the weekly, since this move was crazy week. So you see now, guys, these highs here are very, very old, since the Brexit move. So we have like, yeah, 63 weeks of trading that we now broke above these highs in the past. We had after Brexit we have some 4 or 5 weeks traded just below, and since then we kept making higher lows, but never making higher highs than this one. This is the first time we have a break of this structure and a close above that. So the same goes here for me, bullish, and the move is very extended now. So of course we want to see some correction back down before we join the bulls. Somewhere at this area, that would be a good level, maybe a retest of this broken structure looking left. That would be good. We can try to put a Fibonacci retracement if, once again, if next week the price don't keep going higher. Yeah, so if we pretend that this was our last high, we can draw our Fibonacci retracement at this last high and see which levels we have to look at. So the 38.2 would be here, and if the market make a little bit higher and start correcting down, we keep following the last high to draw our Fibonacci the right way. But if we want to trade this without any Fibonacci retracement, then we see it clearly that we want to see bullish evidence if the price comes back down and retest these broken structure here. Yeah, so around the 148 area, that would be a good level to look at for a possible bullish evidence. Sterling New Zealand, same picture. same strong move to the upside. And looking at the RSI, it is at the extremes, and this high here is even higher than this high here, looking left here. So we do have already hidden divergence on this one. To go long, of course, this level, the monthly R1 area, should be the level to look at. And if the market start open and keep going higher next week, and then of course we want to look at around this level here, 1.900 area, for a possible bounce back down. Look left, you see why this level is very, very important, and that you could see bounce from it. I personally think and would love to see this down correction at first next week, to try to buy from this structure here around the monthly R1. That would be great. To look down here around this structure, looking left, it has been a good area, acting as a good support and resistance, and that would be a good level to try to long this pair from. Same here, it did break and close above very, very important structures, all these highs, and soon we're gonna close this gap here to the weekly. And I think let me show you something here. If we take the Sterling USD and we go for Euro Sterling also, if you look now, there's not much left to close this gap on Sterling USD, and at that almost the same amount of pips for the Euro Sterling to reach this structure. Yeah, so what I'm thinking, if this reach the structure here and Sterling USD close this gap next week on the daily, that we may see some bounce at the same time, that after this close, that Sterling may do some correction down, and this pair here, Euro Sterling, maybe give us the bounce at that from that level. Yeah, that was make me think that this gonna give us a possible bounce here, and after the close of the gap, a possible bounce down on Sterling USD. Yeah, not to forget, we do have higher high, higher close on the weekly. This major structure is broken, and I want to show you one more thing, guys, how this have been doing this whole time. What are the range we had? So if you bear with me a little bit, I hope not in a rush, guys. After the Brexit, we have this box, this range we worked with. As you see, the range got broken and the pair start trading in a lower range, and that range is also clear here. So since then we got a break of this lower range, and we had another range here that we worked with, and now this range also got broken. So as you see, it looks like a stairs. Yeah, so since this last range down here, this is a weekly chart, we broke above, we never was able to go back below to trade in this lower range, in this lower box, and now we have a break of this box here, even a break of these highs here. Yeah, looking left. And if we draw this whole thing now, you see that we have the major range down here that is probably broken now, and all we have left is the close of this gap here. So this was what been happening since Brexit, and looking that these highs and lows kept getting higher and higher, we may now start thinking that this long period of consolidation is probably over and that sterling may give us some longer term bullish trend. Okay, as you see here, since we close above the daily 200 moving average, we never broke it. We did a retest of it, and since then we've been trading above the daily 200 moving average. That could be a good filter to only go low, going long and buying the dips. So for next week, where to try to join the bulls? Of course, the first structure is back down here. If we see a retest of this structure here, this would be the first area to look at, or even better, if we get a retest to this lower structure here, not only this, even lower here to this structure, looking left here, that would be a great level to try to look for bullish evidence, since the RSI been on the extreme and it maybe needs some correction lowers and give us better entry price. That would be great. So I am bullish on this one, since we broke all these highs. Now we have a little bit left to close the gap, and that would possibly give us a bounce to the downside. I'm not sure who's me to know all that stuff about the market, but this is what I'm thinking, and this is what I'm expecting to look at for a possible trend continuations. Yeah, so this here is the first thing to look at. That wouldn't be the best area, but it is a previous structure looking left, and it may act as good support. But the monthly R1 down here, that would be much better, and the monthly pivot point is where like the last level to try to go long. So you want to see clear bullish evidence at those levels before you enter. Yeah, why not? 1.45 soon. possibly. Someone is asking for sterling chief. Let me see. Actually all the sterling pairs doing the same, but sterling chief at an important structure right now on the daily, looking left. So yeah, basically where the price is testing right now is a good supply level. The last time we were at this level, we got a very strong move to the downside. Same thing here, and now we are testing that area once again. But look left here, there is not much left. Actually not much left to reach this gap up here too on this one. But basically the same thing goes here. We want if you want to continue this move to the upside, you want to buy it from a little bit lower. So you probably want to see the price testing back this structure down here, or the monthly R1, to try to take a long from this level here. I wouldn't short this this area where the price is right now, but I would try to short if we reach a little bit higher and close this gap here since the Brexit. So this up here, that would be interesting for me to short. As for now, if I want to do something, is to go long, and that long gonna be from the retest of this structure looking left here, this broken structure from this level here, or the monthly R1 down here. Yeah, New Zealand CAD. So guys, as said, take profit here, and then still looking that we may now end this whole move to the downside. As you see, the leg was very extended. it reached the 200 Fibonacci, stopped to the pip, as you see here. Looking left, we do have some structure also that could act as support. And if we look at the RSI, you see that we do have major bullish divergence. Yeah, let's take those lows only. But it basically started divergence from this last low here, which been all the way up here. Yeah, and since then we never saw the RSI making a lower low, but the price was kept making lower lows. We have one lower low here and one lower low here, but the RSI kept heading up and making higher lows, which is a very strong warning signal. If I make this chart a little bit bigger here, you see that on the daily, after this bullish engulfing candle last Friday, we did basically close above the neckline. So this possible double bottom is confirmed now. Bullish engulfing candle, 2-bar reversal signal, looking at 1, 2, and this break back up. So I think that we may have some bullish moves from this level on this pair for next week. Yeah. On the 4-hour, higher low, broke last high, closed above it, and back down here. That would be great to try to look for bullish evidence and go long from this level. That would be the best area to look at if the price do a retest of these lows here. That would be the best risk to reward level to look at, since we have this last low here gonna act as good place to put our stop loss, maybe 20 pips or so below that. And if you shoot for the last high, that would give you 1 to 1.7 risk to reward. And of course, if we break these highs here, you can looking for take profit to even higher. So on this pair, since we make a new higher high now, higher low, we broke above this last high, another retest back down here, that would be a very good level to try to go long from, at least short term, at least a retest of these highs up here. Yeah. Longer term, we want to see a break of this high here. Yeah, if that got broken, then this trend gonna keep going much higher and possibly give us a retest of this structure up here. Yes, Bruce, I do trade on Trading View also from time to time, since they have Owanda as a broker. So, but most of the time I do the charting only on Trading View and executions on MT4, because I have some other the pivot point looks much better on MT4. New Zealand Jappy. On the daily, guys, we now have a break above this last high, a break above this structure. This is a bullish signal. Another bullish engulfing day, 2-bar reversal signal here for a possible continuation. So we put another higher low, a higher high here, swing high. We are trading above the daily 200 moving average again. So there is a possibility that we can trade a continuation higher on this one. And of course, we want to see a retest of this broken structure, maybe, or even lower. That would be much better to give us better risk to reward trade. But at first, I will be looking at least for a retest of the monthly pivot down here. Let's put an alert on that. So when that when the price reaches this level, I'm gonna get an alert, and I will start looking for the price action for possible bullish evidence from this area here. So yeah, since we broke a new high on the daily too, I will try to go long from around the monthly pivot area. And if we put a Fibonacci retracement tool and see if we have any confluence at that level, yeah, we have the 50 to 61.8, so kill zone somewhere in this area. Let me make this one red to see it better. This would be the level to start looking for a possible bullish evidence and a trend continuation on this leg here. New Zealand USD. Oh man, this range was a little bit hard traded on the daily, but on lower time frame it was a great range. We're still going sideways. We still have this last low here. Never got broken for a continuation to start thinking that this will continue lower. We had this move to the upside, rejection, another higher low. We having some kind of head and shoulders looking like this, left shoulder, head, right shoulder right now, since this is a confirmed higher low now, since we have another higher close and two candles fractal here, which make this higher low confirmed now. We are still above the daily 200 moving average looking left, and we do have this possible head and shoulders. To this head and shoulder get confirmed, of course we want to see a break of this neckline up here, a break above this wick like this, to start thinking even more up. But short term, if we go down to the 4 hour, we have a good range to work with, since it have been a sideways market. So we have this range that you can work with on next week. I do actually think that this low is enough. Do not look at this level here as much. So if we get this next week, you can try to maybe buy it from the edge of this range here, looking left here, in anticipation that we at least reach back the last high, or probably see the break of that neckline of that head and shoulders we were looking at. Yeah, because as you see, it has been clear this has been a good resistant level, and this is the good support level. Yeah, but yeah, as I said, since we're trading above the daily 200 moving average, it may be better to try to buy these lows here and see if we're gonna get that break sometime next week. Until we break and close below this structure and the 200 daily moving average, we can try to keep going long from this structure here. And if we break above this structure here, then that is almost sure that we're gonna reach retest these extremes highs up here. Once again, keep it simple, don't overanalyze and make things harder than they are. USD CAD, let's go to the weekly. You know by now that I was looking for a test of the 1.27 extension. We didn't get that yet. The price did stop at this structure low here on the weekly, and basically one should start looking for long scenarios from here. But I don't like when we have, looking left here, when we have a structure like this and another structure just below that. I do prefer to wait for the retest of the lower structure before I start acting on this move. So for me, I want to see gladly a retest of this lower structure where we have some Fibonacci extension confluence, the 1.27 at that same level, looking left here. That would be much better level for me to look for a possible reversal on this move. Looking on this low and this low, and looking at the RSI on the weekly, we do have now two bottom divergence on the weekly. Yeah, you see it clearly, higher low here, but the low here much lower than this one. So this is our first early signal that there could be some possibility for at least a correction higher. But once again, for me, I would much preferably see the retest of this structure down here, the second structure here, and the extension of this move at the 1.27 Fibonacci. That would be great confluence. On the daily, it could be something like a flag. You see the price did stuck in this sideways range here now. So you have a possibility for a short-term trade to the downside if this black flag here got broken, but not much room down. So around the 1.20 area here, your stop take profit should be, if that happened, if we got a break of this flag. On the 4 hour, you see this range now. Let's take off this from the RSI. We do have this 180 pips range, and longer term, if this really want to start going higher before it retests that extreme low I showed you before, you want to see a break of this range, retest, and fail to go back in the box, then you can start trading higher or go long for a short term for at least a retest of the monthly pivot. Yeah. For me, I see this as a possible flag still. After this impulse, I see this as a possible correction higher, and that there is a possibility for another bounce back down. That's what I think personally, because basically that's what happened. You get an impulse, correction, another impulse, and this maybe is a correction for the last push lower, in my opinion. And if we take a Fibonacci extension tool to measure this impulse where and if this flag breakdown where that may end, you see that we do have the 1.27 once again on the 4 hour at that same structure that we talked about on the daily and the weekly. It's very hard to catch it on the chart right now, but so A, B, back to A, the extension is 1.27 at that same structure we've talked about on the weekly, and then down here I would be much more interested to start looking for a long opportunity on this pair. USD JPY. This one is a very at a very important level right now. It usually do respect the monthly R1. It did that here and it did that here these months. When this was traded, those levels was the monthly R1. But now once again, I don't want to need to explain that. We have a narrower pivot levels, and we may see an easy break of the R1 if this move continue higher. So what happened so far? We had the break below, close below. When this day happened here, I was thinking, okay, now we broke below this level, these levels here and there, I was looking for a retest and continuation. We never got that. We got a retest and a continuation higher. There was never a signal to sell it. And as you see, the move was a very, very strong move with good momentum. And we are back at this very important structure that has been acting as good resistant level, and the price had one rejection, but Friday was another bullish engulfing with wicks from both sides. Basically we have a close above this last high here now, so that make us start thinking that there is a possibility for this to continue. But looking at the level itself, looking left, you see that it is an important structure. It is a possibility to maybe see it move, give us a move lower. Yeah, so now we are trading above the 200 moving average on the 4-hour. We did a retest of that and the monthly pivot point and got rejected very, very strongly, and then another rejection from the monthly R1. I will be looking for another retest of this structure here to see if there is opportunity to try to long this one from this level here, and looking at this move to the this previous move, that what make me think that the bulls do really mean it this time to take this higher. Before we get the price back down here, I will not be trading this one. Short-term rejection from here, that would be possibly possible to try to trade it back down if you get like another retest double top scenario and try to short it. But for me, I am more bullish now since this very strong move, and I would be waiting lower for a lower price to try to long from. Looking left here at that monthly pivot, we have a good structure to work with, and that's why I will be looking to see how the price will react back down here. So let's go back to the daily. For this to be longer term long, you want to see a break and close above these highs here. Let me show you that with a blue line. We want to see a break and close above the 11.036. yeah, a daily close above this. That would be like your signal to keep longing this pair all the way back up to up here. Maybe that would change this whole move to the downside. Short term, we do have a close above this last high, which is also good signal that we may see a continuation. That's why I will be looking for a retest of the monthly pivot point on this one. Yeah, someone, since I did publish the Bitcoin chart on my Telegram last week, everyone was asking for it on the weekly overview, so I do have it this week. I don't trade Bitcoins, guys. Let's be very clear on that. And I don't have any idea about the fundamentals behind it, what is the driver behind it, anything else like this. So all I can give you is only 100% technical analysis about it, nothing else. And the reason, as told you guys, that this level is a bounce, possible bounce level or possible buy or die level. Looking left here, you see that we have this very important structure that got broken, never was retested, and last week when I did publish this trade, the Bitcoins were trading somewhere up here, yeah, and it did actually respect this broken structure very well, and we got a very strong bounce. It was like yeah, almost 30% move, and hopefully some of you did catch some make some money on that. I didn't, I don't trade it, but we do now have some structure to work with, at least. Let's go back to lower time frame and see what's going on. So basically, after this move now, a clear strong move, big money or something else did enter the market down here. JP Morgan, maybe, I heard that they are buying bitcoins now since they've been saying that it's a fraud. Yeah, so we had a very good move. We have this correction, looks like a flag to me. I did draw this to see if the 4 hour gonna close above this trend line, which could be the break of this flag for a possible continuation for at least retest of this structure here. Yeah, basically on the 4 hour, since this high we start making lower highs and lower lows, and this was the last low here, and it was at a very important structure. So you have like to see at least of if this break and close above the trend line here, the flag, this flag got broken, you want to see a break of this high and how the price will react when it reach these levels here. That could be a very good resistant level that may send the bitcoins back down for another correction lower. Yeah, so on the lower time frame, you do have now a possible higher high, higher low, higher than this. You want to see this candle close a little bit higher. Even better if we break up and close above this swing high here. That would confirm that we have a higher low now, and start looking for a possible continuation up to at least these levels here for a possible bounce back down. Yeah, so that is the short-term scenario to look at. We do have now some structure to work with, so it is a little bit funnier to make analysis about this one. It wasn't as fun in the past, but now we do have clear structures to work with. Yeah, I think that was the last thing I had on my list. Now I've been talking for 1 hour and 40 minutes. That's a lot. But I still can give you a couple of minutes, guys. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat and let me know, and I will try to answer them. And why not, while waiting, hit the like button if you did like this session, and that would make me much happier, and make me do those sessions, really keep doing them every week and putting the time and effort to do them. Yeah. Do you trade any pair which may follow your trading plan, or do you have a favorite set of pairs to trade? Now, of course, I have some favorite pairs. All the Jappy pairs, almost, I like them a lot. GU also, I like it very well. Someone is asking about USD Norwegian krona. Yeah, let's take a look at that. I've been following this. I still have a trade open since here somewhere. What I didn't like a lot for my since I'm holding a short was this double bottom here with this divergence, and I think last week or the week before I did mention to you guys that if you took that short longer term position that I called somewhere here, that I said, guys, be aware now. We do have bullish divergence on the RSI, since this move here, this low here was much lower, but on the RSI we start making higher lows. Yeah, So, and then we got this move to the upside and another rejection down. So basically you shouldn't be worried. If depends on when you did enter this market. But if we look left, as far as we are still have no close above this structure here, there is not much to worry about. But of course we didn't want to see this move, like break the neckline, make another higher high, and now we have some correction down. Yeah, so it is in a possible reversal area, looking at the RSI and stuff like that. At the same time, we have another RSI signal, which is a hidden divergence. Looking at these levels here and these levels here, you see that the RSI is now making higher high, but the high is actually lower on the price. So this is a hidden bearish divergence. That's why I'm thinking that you probably don't need to be worried yet. At the retest, we had this shooting star formation with the close below. The bad thing about it, that would be if much better if Friday's candle did close actually below this last swing low here. That would be much better for us who are holding the short position to to look for possible continuation back down. So we are in this range now. It is a new range. The market did break a very important level. Looking left, it is a very, very important level, as you see here, and that's not very, very shocking for me to see some consolidation now, and the price maybe is getting accepted below the 8 area here. As you see, the 8.00 level is up here, and for me this looks like maybe some consolidation. The price is getting accepted, and we still maybe have the possibility to see more down on this one, looking at this very, very strong bearish hidden divergence on the RSI. Something like this, then of course we are out. My trade is to break even now since the next retest and rejection. So it is at break even around the 8 up here, and I will try to let it and see if it's gonna run or not. I did get some profit when we start consolidating here, and that bullish divergence on the RSI on the double bottom here, I did book some profit. So I'm still holding partial of the position and still looking to see possible continuation down. If we look at the weekly, we are basically still in a downtrend. Lower low, another lower low, a retest, rejection, and yeah, if we look left here, this have a very good potential. That's why I will try to hold it as much as I can to maybe reach back down here. Yeah, so it's the left of the position is on break even, and I will forget about it. If it takes me out, I'm out. Let's see, do we have anything else? You're welcome, buddy, you're welcome. 2 to 3 business days, the real profit after your capital goes to your bank account. Yeah, of course it does. Bruce, you're welcome. The New Zealand USD, where you put the neckline, can you show that? Let's see. Yeah, as I told you guys, the neckline is we want to see a break above this this wick here. Yeah, so this line here is your neckline. Looking at this, and we are talking about this head and shoulders. Yeah, So here you have the head, here you have the right shoulder. So technically, to follow the textbook of the head and shoulders, this is the last high here of this right shoulder is basically the neckline, yeah. But yeah, go down to 4 hour and try to buy it from the lows here. That would give you much better risk to reward, and if it goes, it goes. If not, you eat your stop loss and looking for next possibility. How often do you update the pivot? Yeah, we did take that. Do we have any other questions? So guys, thanks a lot. I'm very tired, been talking so much, and I do have a session for my students in about 2.5 hours, so I have to take some rest. Thanks a lot, and see you next week. Once again, hit the like button if you didn't do that. Subscribe to my channel and read the description sections to subscribe to my Telegram channel, Facebook, TradingView account. So trade safe and keep your eyes on the news. Bye bye.